This video is brought to you by Global Men's Wellness, your 24/7 AI health expert. No copays, waiting rooms, or awkward conversations. Just real answers whenever you need them. Visit globalmenswellness.com to try it free and get your own on-demand concierge-level wellness expert today. Welcome to the Global Men's Wellness. I'm Dr. Judson Brandeis, and I'm so glad you're here. Imagine a simple, fundamental act of life, urinating, becoming a daily source of struggle and frustration. A weak stream, the feeling of never quite emptying your bladder, frequent infections, or a sudden and complete inability to go at all. For many men, these aren't just minor annoyances, they are the debilitating symptoms of a hidden problem within the body's plumbing. This condition, a narrowing in the urinary channel, can be caused by something as common as a previous catheter placement, a minor injury from years ago, or an inflammatory skin condition. It's a problem that often gets misdiagnosed or managed with temporary fixes that lead to a frustrating cycle of recurrence. But a revolution has been quietly taking place in urology, offering men a definitive, durable solution that can permanently restore normal function. Today, we will explore urethral stricture disease and the modern surgical techniques that are changing lives. So, what exactly is urethral stricture disease? Think of your urethra as a garden hose. A stricture is like a thick, rigid band of scar tissue forming inside that hose, squeezing it from the inside and narrowing the passage. Medically, it's a fibrosis, or scarring, of the urethral tube and the spongy tissue that surrounds it, the corpus spongiosum. This isn't a simple blockage that can be easily pushed aside. It's a scar, and like any scar, it's tough, inelastic, and tends to contract over time. The causes are varied. In many developed nations, the most common causes are iatrogenic, meaning from a medical procedure like catheterization or prostate surgery, or they are idiopathic, meaning we don't know the exact cause. In other parts of the world, trauma is a more frequent culprit. This scarring process, or spongiofibrosis, is the core of the problem, and understanding that is key to understanding why some treatments fail and others succeed. The modern management of urethral strictures is a highly sophisticated field, built upon a deep understanding of this scar tissue. The 2023 AUA guideline provides a clear, evidence-based framework for treatment, which was developed after a systematic review of hundreds of scientific articles. This is not new science, but it's the culmination of decades of surgical innovation and outcomes research. For years, the standard approach was often repeated endoscopic treatments, either dilating, stretching the scar, or cutting it with a small knife, a procedure called a DVIU. While these methods are proven to provide temporary relief, we now have overwhelming evidence that for many strictures, especially those that are long or recurrent, they are not a durable solution. The proven, definitive treatment is urethroplasty, the surgical reconstruction of the urethra. This isn't a temporary fix. It's a permanent cure for the vast majority of patients. More recently, newer technologies like drug-coated balloons have received FDA approval and are showing promise as a minimally invasive option for certain recurrent strictures. Given that the symptoms of a stricture, a weak stream, incomplete emptying, are so common, why isn't this condition more widely understood? One of the biggest reasons is that the symptoms are nonspecific and overlap with other, more common conditions like an enlarged prostate or BPH. Many men, and even their primary care doctors, might assume that a slowing urinary stream is just a normal part of aging. Another barrier is the specialized nature of the definitive treatment. Urethroplasty is a complex reconstructive surgery that is best performed by surgeons with specific expertise and high-volume experience. This means that outside of specialized centers, awareness of this curative option may be limited, and patients might be offered repeated endoscopic treatments without being informed about a more durable alternative. The patient's journey begins with a proper diagnosis to fully define the problem. After a history and physical exam, we often start with non-invasive tests like uroflowmetry to measure the speed of the urinary stream and a bladder ultrasound to check the post-void residual urine. If these are abnormal, the next step is to visualize the stricture. The gold standard for this is a retrograde urethrogram, or RUG, where a small amount of contrast dye is gently injected into the urethra to create a clear X-ray image of the stricture's exact location, length, and severity. Once we have this roadmap, we can have an informed discussion about the best treatment option. For a short, first-time bulbar stricture, a minimally invasive dilation or DVIU can be attempted. This is a quick outpatient procedure, but the patient must understand the high chance of recurrence. For a longer or recurrent stricture, the experience involves a urethroplasty. This is a more involved surgery that can take several hours, but the goal is a one-time, definitive fix. This often involves using a tissue graft to augment the narrowed urethra, most commonly oral mucosa harvested from the inside of the cheek. This is where personalized care is paramount. The choice of procedure is tailored to the individual man and his specific stricture. For a very short, centimeter first-time bulbar urethral stricture, a surgeon might offer the patient a choice between a DVIU or a primary urethroplasty, after a thorough discussion of the success rates and risks of each. However, if that same stricture recurs after an initial endoscopic treatment, the guideline is clear. The surgeon should offer urethroplasty, as another endoscopic procedure is very likely to fail. For longer strictures, urethroplasty is recommended as the initial treatment. The type of urethroplasty is also personalized. A short stricture might be fixed with an excision and primary anastomosis, cutting out the scarred segment and sewing the healthy ends back together. A longer stricture will require an augmentation urethroplasty using a graft, like buccal mucosa. For the most complex long segment strictures, or for men who are poor surgical candidates, a perineal urethrostomy, creating a new permanent opening for urine behind the scrotum, is a life-changing option that provides durable relief. When the right procedure is chosen for the right patient, the results are excellent. While initial endoscopic treatment for a short stricture has a success rate of only 35–70%, urethroplasty has a success rate of 80–95%. For men who have already failed one endoscopic procedure, the success rate of a second attempt plummets, with recurrence rates exceeding 80%. In contrast, urethroplasty remains highly effective even in these recurrent cases. One of the most important messages of the modern guideline is to offer urethroplasty instead of repeated and likely futile endoscopic management. This breaks the cycle of temporary fixes and offers men a real cure. The future of urethral reconstruction is focused on improving our techniques and technologies even further. There is a great deal of research into tissue engineering, with the goal of creating off-the-shelf grafts from stem cells or other materials to avoid the need to harvest tissue from the patient's mouth. For endoscopic management, the development of drug-coated balloons that deliver anti-proliferative medication directly to the stricture scar is a very promising new frontier. And as robotic surgery continues to evolve, we may see more robotic-assisted urethroplasties for certain types of complex strictures, particularly those in the posterior urethra. The ultimate goal is to continue to refine our techniques to provide the most durable results with the least possible morbidity. I do this work because restoring a man's ability to urinate normally is about restoring a fundamental aspect of his health and dignity. Urethral stricture disease can be a profoundly frustrating condition, trapping men in a cycle of symptoms and repeated, often ineffective procedures. The better way is to offer a definitive, durable solution. It's about leveraging our advanced reconstructive techniques to not just open a channel, but to rebuild a healthy, functional urethra. It's about giving a man back his control, his comfort, and his quality of life, once and for all. Take control of your health anytime, anywhere. Visit globalmenswellness.com and start your free trial today. Get expert-level answers in seconds, not weeks, without the cost, the wait, or the awkward conversations. Real support on your terms. Visit globalmenswellness.com now.